Ladies and gents, good morning, buongiorno. This is the Angry Hat speaking. I have a quick tips and tricks video for someone that might be new to the game. I've seen this question asked a bit. What is the difference between Ultimate and regular Descendants? You just have to look at two different things. One is going to be stats and two is going to be Transcendent mods. I'll explain both to you. First of all, I have an Ultimate Lepic here. When I press tab, it's going to show me the stats for the level 40. Let me just pull the regular one, and you can see the difference here. The blue is the regular one. And there's a difference of roughly, what is that, 1,500 about in defense. Smidges in shield and health, nothing interesting, but the defense is slightly higher. And the same can be said for Glade. Glade is another one that defense gets pushed quite a bit. Having a bit extra defense is always helpful, especially for the hard bosses and the hard dungeon raids that are about to come to hit us in Season 1. Now, bear in mind, if you're a beginner and you just want to try the game out and you don't feel like stick around, easy peasy, test whatever Descendant you want and don't worry about it. But if you're in for the long haul and you really want to invest a bit of time into this game, go for the ultimates. And this is why. When you have the variants of Descendants, you will see these red mods called Transcendent mods. So let's assume you see Bunny and you go like, oh, I really like Bunny, oh my god, he's so cool, he runs around and laughs, and then the community is going to hate you, but you're gonna be the fastest grinder ever. You can see 4 mods and it tells you what skills they apply to and what they do, but most importantly, if you look down, it's gonna say Ultimate Bunny and Bunny Exclusive, which means both versions of Bunny can use this. Then you see these two. Ultimate Bunny Exclusive. So this means these high voltage and electric charge mods can only be used by Ultimate Bunny. Regular Bunny doesn't have access to it. For example, electric charge changes the playstyle of her landing, of her double jump. The more she jumps, basically, the more damage she does. And high voltage changes the ability, her third ability entirely, going from an AoE circle to a direct impact of electrical storm on 3 different enemies, but the range is higher and the potency is higher. But this changes the way a skill functions. So if you look at the Descendants in terms of ultimate and regular, there are 2 mods that ultimates have, 2 Transcendent mods that regular would not have access to, which could be radical gameplay changing. In some cases yes, in some cases no. In the cases of Ultimate Lepic, for example, Firearm Master is a mod that I use, for example, and is only available to Ultimate Lepic. And what this does 2 things. Every time you change, you reload your weapon, it's going to give you an increase in range about 45%, which is great. But then every time you change from one weapon to another, you get a skill power modifier increase of 39%, which on Lepic is nothing, okay? Lepic has a 2760, so this is not that much of a, it's not a big deal. It's subtle, but it's an increase, it's still an increase. So for those min-maxes, this could be something, right? Usually I use that for mobs, because I get a lot of extra traction grenade range, which is beautiful. I can just take an entire room, collect it in one place, and then just use my one grenade and absolutely smash everyone in one hit. But this is Ultimate Lepic, okay? Other than that, if you use, for example, something like Power Unit Change, which is really good against Gluttony, and gives you your firearm attacks a lot of damage, so you buff your weapons instead of your skills, this is accessible to both Lepics. So this would be an argument as to go for regular Lepic and don't waste time on your ultimate. So this is the main difference. Now you know. So my advice would be this. Obviously you test the game out, you're new to the game and everything. If you think you're in for the long haul and you like it, this is a very grinding game, go for ultimates directly. Because eventually we're gonna have only ultimates in the game. So I would suggest go for ultimates directly if you have the patience to grind them. There's the aesthetics, there's the fashion, there's the 2 Transcendent mods, which can always change in the future for the better. I always see, for example, some of the mods that the Transcendent mods, Ultimate Exclusives, now being that great and being underwhelming, being changed in the future for the better, giving potentially much more advantageous positions to someone that has that ultimate. The last thing I'm going to show you, and then you can go on your way. If you look at Valby, she has spiral tidal wave, which is basically good only for gluttony fights. If you don't find the boss, if you don't fight the bosses, you don't care about this mod. Okay, it has its use, but outside of gluttony fights, has no use, as far as I can tell. Now this might change in the future, but supply moisture is something that is extremely good on Valby. I don't even have it, but I can tell, because while you are on water, which Valby is on water at all times, increases firearm critical hit rate, skill critical hit rate, skill duration, and firearm attribute trigger rates. This is very powerful. This is extremely powerful, and regular Valby has access to it. You don't need an ultimate Valby for this, okay? So sometimes you will see some Descendants having their ultimate Transcendent mods being underwhelming, you know, so obviously it's up to you to balance the two things together, and obviously grinding the regulars is going to be a tad easier than grinding the ultimate versions of it, which are locked behind heavier grinds. Although I was playing with a friend yesterday and he got all of the pieces for Valby Ultimate in one day. I would say in 3 hours. In about 3 hours he got all the pieces, and she's cooking right now. She's cooking in the oven. So, you know, it depends a bit on luck with ultimates, but I will always say go for ultimates instead of regulars. I have both Descendants, ultimate Lepic and regular Lepic. I took regular Lepic in the beginning. I even put an activator on it, and I was like, you know what, I like ultimate version, I'm just gonna go for it, and I granted the ultimate. And now I have two. This one I'm gonna, once it's level 40, I don't remember if I leveled it once or not, so I'm just gonna put it back to level 40 and then eliminate it, just for the mastery. I don't really care about anything else, because I already have one Lepic. The only ultimate that is gonna stand in my inventory with a regular is gonna be Freyna. Because one, I have 10 catalysts on her, and two, I'm gonna build only Freynas. An army of Freynas. But hope this helps. You have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one.